Hey guys, this is Joel Patterson, and this is my Mod 8 presentation for legal aspects of teacher evaluation in EDL 851. Starting off, I did my summaries of the content for this module. The first one here is teacher evaluation heads to the courts. In this document, there's kind of a brief overview of a handful of different court cases that centered around teacher evaluation, student test scores being used in teacher evaluations, tenure, school-wide growth formulas where teachers were being evaluated based on students that weren't even necessarily in their classes. Some of the cases in this resource have been completed while others are still ongoing and could obviously change and impact how evaluations are used moving forward. The second article was teacher evaluation and issue overview. And in this one, a couple bullet points just to summarize. It was an overview of how teacher evaluations changed in the recent years and how it's continuing to be a hot topic of debate. A lot of the new teacher evaluation models have been created since there's been new research on teacher quality, how to boost teacher effectiveness, and then political pressure to get rid of ineffective teachers, and then just changes in certain laws and expectations that are at the schools. With evaluation, what began as a way to just identify and fix and rectify different strengths and weaknesses at schools has kind of turned more into a way to find ineffective teachers and find ways to get them pushed out. Studies on these new evaluation models, though, are still unclear because they haven't been out long enough, and so this will remain a hot topic. Okay, the third article was teacher evaluation measures and systems and how they can improve teaching and learning. Really, the biggest goal in teacher evaluation is to develop and improve teaching and learning. Comprehensive evaluation systems would focus on what teachers do in classrooms, what teachers contribute to schools, and then how well students are learning. An effective evaluation should always include visible or valuable feedback, identification of strengths and weaknesses, and then attention to strategies for improvement, working on making that teacher a better teacher. Okay, and then our final resource from this module was the resource guide for NEA leaders and staff. In this one, there was an overview behind the purpose of teacher evaluation and really just a focus on how it should be used to develop teachers, not as a way to find ways to dismiss them. Gave a brief rundown of different evaluation tools and how to use them. There were several. They mentioned the value-added model, measures of student learning, student artifacts through portfolios. Teacher evaluations with a comprehensive approach should help build a better learning environment for students and not really push people out of the profession just because they could use some work in certain areas. The evaluation models that are used at districts should be determined at the local level, and teachers should be involved in that and creating what tool they're going to use or choosing what tool they're going to use. And then also had a little bit of information just about the Race to the Top initiative and how that's made school evaluation more of a hot topic in recent years where schools are kind of fighting for those funding dollars. The overview of teacher evaluation in USD 231. We've been using the Keep2 model as our evaluation tool, and within this model, teachers are notified in the middle of September if they're on the evaluation cycle for that school year. Teachers create 3 professional goals, student performance measures, and then are self-rating on the instructional practices rubric that are part of the evaluation process. First and second year teachers have 2 evaluation cycles, and then third year teachers and tenured teachers have 1 cycle as part of the evaluation process. So that would be 1 formal observation that is scheduled and then 1 formal that's unscheduled. For the formal observation, there's a pre-observation meeting that would be between the teacher and the admin to talk about what's going to go on in that lesson. And then there'd be obviously the observation itself. And then after the observation, there would be a post-observation meeting to go over what happened. Continuing here, the unscheduled observation does not have the pre-observation meeting, but it does include the post-observation meeting. And then also administrators can schedule additional observations if they need to. At the conclusion of the cycles, though, teachers will work with the principal or the administrator that does the observing. And this allows them to discuss the progress towards their goals, student performance measures, and then just the overall instructional practices rubric. Artifacts are collected throughout the year and put into Keep 2 to show student learning throughout the year. And then teachers would receive a rating of ineffective, developing, effective, or highly effective for both student performance measures and instructional practices. What can teachers do if they feel their evaluations are inaccurate? At the end of the summative process, so during that post-observation, teachers can add any comments that they have about the evaluation. And then the principal has the opportunity to put the last comments in after that before submitting the evaluation. Okay. And then what can teachers do if they feel they're unjustly being let go? Teachers, if they do not have their contract renewed, the HR department would be involved, and the HR department with the principal and teacher would go through documentation, backing up their case for why their contract was not renewed. And then if they disagree with that decision, they would speak further with HR and probably would want to get the NEA involved if they are a member. Okay, the court case that I looked at was Johnson versus Longview School District. And in this one, there's a teacher, Amy Johnson, who had been teaching for about 15 years, award-winning teacher, done really great things. She had sued her principal in the school district because the principal, Scott Multeen, was intimidating, humiliating, and discriminating against her. And the two sides did agree to mediation. But then the school thought that Johnson's statements were not really factual and that she could have done more things to protect herself. The judge ultimately did rule in favor of Johnson, though, and awarded her with $60,000 in damages. And Johnson remains with the school district while Multeen does not. Okay. Reflect as a future school leader. How would you ensure that you're following the legal issues associated with the evaluation process? On this, I said to just make sure that I'm following district and state protocol for evaluations. Those are all outlined in KEEP. Communicating with other principals in the district, HR, superintendent, when you do have questions. Know that you're not always the expert on everything, and there are people out there to help you answer questions if you're unsure. Open communication with staff about the process. The goal, and making sure that they know that the goal is not to find things, little tiny things that they do wrong and nitpick those, is to develop them as teachers. And then to stay informed. There's lots of new laws, new evaluation methods, instructional techniques, all kinds of different things that change all the time. So your evaluations would change as well. I think that is the end. So thanks for watching, and happy Friday, everyone, and happy Easter. Thanks.